In this video, I'm going over how Vacation Tracker and Hibob compare to each other. It will be an honest review of how each of them function now in 2026 with their strengths and weaknesses depending on your goals for your company. For an updated comparison list, check the link below in the description for more. First, I'm going to talk about who each of these platforms are primarily built for. Then I'll talk about the primary features and capabilities that each of them have, including the must-knows like pricing and support details. That way you can choose the best tool for your situation. Vacation Tracker can work for any size team, but is especially useful for small to mid-sized teams or remote teams that may require different leave rules based on department, seniority, or location. It's built to work really well in Slack and Microsoft, so employees don't have to use another app. They can just request it right there in their normal workflow. Hibob is built for a company that wants a more inclusive HR system. It can track leave, hiring, and task management, but they're also looking to help companies build their culture through on-platform kudos, employee turnover analytics, and much more. This makes Hibob really good for mid-sized companies that are looking to keep all of their HR in one location. So now let's talk about the strengths that each of them have. Vacation Tracker and Hibob are both geared towards being as simple as possible. Vacation Tracker focuses on leave tracking and nothing else. The goal is to be the best at PTO tracking and integrating that into an employee's workflow, whether that's in Microsoft Teams, Slack, Google, or just through general email. It also integrates into payroll softwares because it has an open API. With that said, here are some of their main strengths. First, the setup process. Vacation Tracker is really easy to set up because it's made to be 100% self-serviced, but there is support available if you need it. Another great strength of theirs is that they have a full list of PTO policies. Nearly every leave policy that you could have is built into their PTO tracking software. So every special case that makes your company unique is already built into the platform, and if it isn't, they'll make sure to make it for you. Whether it's blackout dates, probation rules, accrual caps, literally anything is possible. The last strength that I want to highlight is that they have a really great team integration and visibility. This means that your team doesn't need another login necessarily. Vacation Tracker lives inside of Slack, Microsoft Teams, Google Workspace, or even email. So leave requests can happen where work already happens. This means that as an administrator or a manager, you'll be able to understand the timelines for projects a lot better because you'll know who's out and when. So now let's talk about Hibob's strengths. Users of Hibob say it's very easy to use, has a high level of customization, it's user-friendly in terms of the interface, and it's good at supporting global teams or remote teams. Their own marketing also references how great it is for fast-growing teams, and you can see a long list of features that it has in its core HR suite. So with that said, here are the three main strengths that I want to talk about. First, the user interface and the connections. What immediately stands out is that it has a very simple view of a lot of complicated HR topics. You can easily get quick access to all the core features on the left-hand side, and it's also where you can manage a lot of employee data. And that brings me to their second strength, because you can really lean into the analytics that they have for the employees and the business metrics. These include real-time dashboards and reports like turnover, retention, and headcount. And that brings me to my last point, because Hibob has built a large database of integrations to make your life a lot easier. And that just makes financial analysis, calendars, and payroll a lot easier to integrate into one platform. Now for each of their weaknesses. Where Vacation Tracker really falls short is that it's just for PTO tracking. They wanted to build the best leave tracking software, so that means that you're not going to get any other HR functions. It can be integrated with payroll, but it's not going to help house any employee documents or help with any hiring processes or any other HR tasks. Hibob's weaknesses are mostly in its pricing transparency, timeline for setup, and its overall depth of functionality. Due to its custom pricing, it's hard to know how much it's going to cost for each person, and you really have to reach out to find out. With that said, you can find estimates online from $16 to $25 per employee, and they also have an implementation fee, which can cost anywhere from 10 to 20% of your annual expense. Users have also found that implementing the process can take several weeks for a few reasons. The main time sucks are the data migration from whatever tools you're currently using, the configurations of your settings and new policies that you want to implement, and the integrations of all the apps that you want to have so that you can track everything on one platform. And lastly, the overall functionality has been slimmed down to make it easier from a user perspective. This means that it's very effective at what it does, but there are edge cases where you might want some more depth to the analytics that they have that you just can't get. Okay, so now you should have a good sense of who these platforms are really built for, but if you need more, here are the main comparables between Vacation Tracker and Hibob. Starting with price, Vacation Tracker comes in at $2 per user per month, and they also offer a free plan if you just want to test the waters and see what it's like. If you do want to try the paid features, you can get a 7-day trial without having to put in your credit card at all. On the other hand, Hibob is custom priced, so you won't know your exact number until you go through their full sales process. They do offer a free demo so you can get a guided walkthrough with an expert. Next up, how long does it actually take to get up and running with each of these platforms? For Vacation Tracker, it's usually about a day or less to get up and running because it's fully self-serviced, but because Hibob is a full HR platform, it can take several weeks to get everything integrated like we talked about in the weaknesses section. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it is something you should think about if you are looking to replace your full HR system. On the feature side, like we said before, Vacation Tracker is fully focused on just PTO. This includes time off management, leave automations, real-time calendar syncing, customizable policies and reporting, and multi-location support. Hibob covers a much broader surface area, like the core HR that you're used to, applicant tracking software, payroll integrations, performance management, time off, people analytics, and even learning and development too. So if you need all of those things, then great, but if you don't, you might be paying for more than what you need. For integrations, they both have plenty, but Hibob really shines in this spot because they have over 70 integrations. That way you can really put everything together on one platform. Vacation Tracker integrates really well with Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Google Workspace, but they also have a Zapier integration. That way you can connect it to anything that you really want. Also, both platforms have an open API. For support, they come in about equal because both of them have live chat, email support, and live calls if you need it. Finally, for implementation fees, Vacation Tracker doesn't have one, but Hibob will charge anywhere from 10 to 20% of your annual cost like we talked about before. I'd recommend confirming that early on in your sales calls because it can vary depending on your situation, but it's worth factoring into your budget from the start. The biggest takeaway here is that there is no best tool, there's just the best tool for you. Small to mid-sized teams that don't need a full HR system quite yet benefit a lot from Vacation Tracker because it's quick to implement and easy for everyone to adopt. Larger teams or companies needing more HR structure might lean towards a more all-in-one solution like Hibob. If you're still deciding, I would suggest testing both, especially because Vacation Tracker has a free trial and it's very easy to set up a demo call with the Hibob team. That alone can give you a clear answer of what you need to do moving forward. Good luck, and let us know if you have any questions in the comments below.